Hey friends, welcome back. I'm LlamaMamaKayla, and today is day 4 of Feeding Tube Awareness Week. So each day I'm trying to share some information about feeding tubes and just to bring awareness and educate and just let people know how feeding tubes work. And it's not a great situation, but it is what it is, and I'm just making the best of it. And actually today is 1 year that I've had a feeding tube. I got my feeding tube of February the 10th last year, and it didn't take. I had a lot of issues, and I had surgery after surgery after surgery before I finally got a tube in. Like, I ended up getting 5 feeding tubes. One time they even did a GJ tube, which they stitched down into my intestines, and it still came out. So it is, it's just really a rough go trying to get that feeding tube placed. And I got really, really sick, and even went sepsis at one point, and just had a really rough time. Most people do not have that rough of a time getting a feeding tube. Mine probably had a lot of factors in it. My overall health, I have lots of health issues with, lupus and scleroderma and Raynaud's and just, a lot of different autoimmune diseases. And also the medications I was on did not promote healing. I was on a lot of immune suppressants, and so that, didn't help the healing process or anything like that. So there was a lot of factors. And finally, one of the doctors was like, I know that you need this medication and blah, 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 but she's like, we might want to try to get off of it for a little bit. And so I was like, yes, I don't know why nobody else has said this. Let's do it. And so that's what she and I kind of came to agreement with, that I would stop a couple of my meds and let this heal and such. We did that like prior to the last surgery, and it did help and worked. So yeah. So anyway, today being my 1 year anniversary, falling on Feeding Tube Awareness Week, I am going to show you my feeding tube. So I'm going to do like a little quick version of a morning thing to just kind of clean it up and slap another patch on there. Now, if I was going to bed at night, I would definitely do a better job than what you're about to see, because I wouldn't want that to leak all over my shirt and bed and everything. But I'm just doing a little quickie. You don't want an hour video of me cleaning my stoma and taking care of all that. You don't want an hour video of that. So I'm just going to do a very shortened, quick version and try to do that just as quickly as possible. And just, I know people are curious. People just want to know, like, where's your tube at? What does it look like? And that's very understandable. I really understand that people are just curious. If you've never seen a feeding tube, you've never seen a feeding tube, So, just a warning, you're about to see my feeding tube and the stoma, and just watch me do a little morning cleanup on it and slap another split gauze on there real quick and flush it and get ready for formula. Okay, friends, here I am. I'm going to change out my dressing around my tube, and I'm trying to do this very quickly so the video is not long. I do want a sports bra type shirt under this, so that's what the white is. It is another shirt, so you're not going to see anything. But you can see I'm just taking off my trying to get it off, and sometimes it is a little difficult. You can see I'm struggling a little bit. My tube is very high up on my abdomen. I mean, it's right under my breast, and that is just a horrible location. I wish it was not there, because it's in a bad place. And I can't hardly see it over my breast, just to be honest with you. So here I'm cleaning it good, trying to make sure there's no stomach acids, and usually I clean it better But I'm just doing a little shortened version of, the process. So you can see it's just a stoma. It's just a hole in my stomach, and the tube comes out of that. And so now I need to flush the tube. And, oh, of course, when you're filming something, you're always going to have accidents and mistakes, and just trying to quickly do it. That tube does not have a clamp on it, which is very aggravating and causes a great deal of issues there. If it had a clamp, it wouldn't be leaking like that, but I just can't hardly hold it down, and I could bend it in half, but the tube is very stiff and it doesn't bend too well. So, yeah, that's what I do in the mornings and at night, and sometimes even in between during the day. I have to change that dressing if it gets too dirty. But I do flush that tube like in the mornings and at night and before and after feedings. And so here I'm just putting it just for any irritation. And so people want to know, is the tube painful? It is if it bumps something, or if I move certain ways, and even if I reach to get something and it stretches my stomach, it will, pull at it, and it does hurt. It's a little painful. It's uncomfortable most of the time. So I'm just going to slap a little bit of tape on there. Normally during the day and at night, I tape it up really well so that it doesn't pull and get pulled out or anything like that. But I'm just going to slap a piece of tape on there. And I'm doing a horrible job at that. Just to hold it. But at night, for sure, I tape it up really well so that tube is in there good. I tape the bumper down good because I move all around at night and I do not want to pull that out. So, I'm just slapping a little tape on there. That's a horrible job. But that's what it is. And anyway, so come on and let's see me get hooked up. Okay, I'm back. I hope that wasn't too graphic for anyone. It's what I deal with every day, so it's not graphic to me. It's part of my life. So I'm just opening my baggie here. What I have, my feeding tube bag. So, I did not bring any towels or anything in here with me. We're just going to chance it. So here is my formula. This is the formula that I own. And just cutting the edge off of that. Sometimes this makes a mess. I just poured into my bag. And I need like 4 of these a day. So most of the time I put like 2 in and then just run it a while. And then I'll turn it off and then run it a while longer. So, this just hangs up at the top of my ivy pole. Well, you know how an ivy works. And let's see. Okay, so just making sure my thing is connected on here well. All right, and so here it goes. So here's my pump, and if you can see the little side here, opens up, and we need to put this in here. And I'm just going to let the pump prime it itself. So I hold the end of this, and then on the pump I can tell the pump to prime, auto prime, and so it just not swinging. It just takes a little bit and it primes. You can see the formula going down through the tube. Usually I do this in the bathroom and I have the sink there to catch this, but I'm going to try to stop it once it gets right at it so I don't get air in my stomach. Okay, perfect. Okay, I don't know if you can see my tube here. This tube does not have a clamp on it, so it gets kind of tricky of trying to open this and not spill stomach juices, acid and such. This is not going to stay without some tape. So I'm going to have to go get some tape. That is the story of my life, is not getting all my supplies at one time. I always forget stuff and have to go back and get something else. So I'm cutting a piece of tape to have it ready, and hopefully I can do this. I usually have to have some kind of help because it is a little tricky, because this tube doesn't have a clamp on it. I can't clamp it off so that formula doesn't shoot out or stomach juices doesn't shoot out, and it's making a mess. Just made a huge mess. And that's the way it goes every time. Every time. So what I need to do is pinch this off. I know you can't hardly see, but I'm trying to pinch this off so that it doesn't leak, and get this put in. And because it is wet, this isn't going to stick that well, so I'm trying to tape it on there. I think I got it that time. Okay, so this is taped in because it just doesn't want to hold that well. Still, it's not taped in there good. I really want to get a different tube, and one that has a clamp on it. I'd really like to have a button, but they haven't like got me one. And I don't know my size button that I need. So I'm afraid it's not in there well enough and it's just going to leak really bad. Okay. I think I'm going to have to go get a Q-tip to dry that off in there. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. I've got my tube hooked up. I've got it in here, I guess, semi-okay. It's much easier when someone's at home to help me, but that's not always the case at all. Because everybody, people have to work, and I'm home by myself. So anyway, so then once I get this hooked up and primed and all that, I can adjust my feeds, put in my feeding rate. Oops, I went too far. Put in my feeding rate and enter that, and click run. And so there we go. Oh wait, no, that's too fast. Okay, now enter, run. Okay, so now it's set correctly, and so this will just run, and it runs into my stomach, and so I get my formula. So while this is running, I am able to crochet and watch something on Netflix or whatever, so I can crochet and eat at the same time, and so that works for me. Anyway, I have tried to make this video kind of really short and not drug out for a long video because this usually does take a long process, and so I've tried to do it shortened as possible to make the video not as long as my routine usually is. But anyway, guys, for tomorrow is the last day of feeding tube awareness, so today I would like for you to post any questions that you have in the comments about feeding tubes, and maybe tomorrow I can answer questions that people have about feeding tubes. So just, you can post your comments, thoughts, or whatever, and I'll address that tomorrow in video. I'll go over the comments, read the comments, and answer questions about feeding tubes. So I think that would round off the Feeding Tube Awareness Week. So anyway, guys, yeah, I'm attached to this pole now, and I'll drag it around the house with me. I think I'll go sit and crochet for a little bit, though, so that but I do have to drag it to the restroom and stuff like that. But I thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this week has been informative, educational, and just gave you a glimpse of what it's like to have a feeding tube. I appreciate you all. Thanks very much. Bye, friends. See you in the next video.